A young lady on TikTok has died mysteriously after she went to visit a man she met on the platform. Brenda was said to have met a young man by the name of Emmy Pounds on TikTok, and just after 3 days of chatting, Emmy Pounds invited her over to his place. And since they both live in the same city in Warri, it did not take anything for Brenda to go and visit Emmy Pounds in Japa Road in Warri. And it wasn't one of those one-time visit and then go home. Clearly, she packed up to stay over, and that was where Brenda was for a while until her family and friends couldn't reach her anymore. They tried calling her, but she wouldn't take the call. Nothing was going. At a point, the phone went off. She wasn't returning the call. Nobody knew where Brenda was until one of her friends hacked into her TikTok account and was able to go through her chat where she saw the conversation with Emmy Pounds. And that was how they knew that Brenda was with this young man she had met on TikTok. And they reached out to Emmy Pounds and they were like, "What's up? Where is Brenda? We know she had come to visit you days ago, so she's with you." Emmy Pounds did not deny. He quickly told them that yes, Brenda had come to see me and she had been with me for a while. However, she fell sick seriously and I had to take her to a hospital. And he told them the hospital where she was. And that was how Brenda's family went to the hospital to go and see Brenda in a state that they could not just fathom. They noticed she had bruises all over her body. They noticed that she was in a deep state of coma, like she couldn't even respond to them. She didn't even know what was going on. And then they saw her wearing a diaper, an adult Pampers. When upon they learned that she could not control urinating or defecating, and that was why she was in the adult diapers. The family did not understand what was going on with Brenda. They tried to speak with her as she was in the hospital bed there, but she couldn't speak, she couldn't talk, nothing. They couldn't get a word out of her as to how she got to this situation. And while they were waiting that hopefully she gets better and starts spilling as to how she ended up there, she dies. And now the family are left with more questions than answers because they want to know what happened to Brenda. They have blamed the young man Emmy Pounds, and Emmy Pounds is denying that he had no hand in whatever happened to the young lady. Emmy said that yes, they met on TikTok and he invited her over and they both slept in the same room, only for him to wake up and saw that she was starting to feel ill. And that was how he brought her to the hospital. And that's how everything turned out to be, that he too is just as confused as everyone else. According to the blogs, the Delta State Police PRO has said that the young lady died from generator fumes, that they don't have a murder case, that this is not a case of murder or ritual or anything that we could imagine, that the young lady and the young man were victims of generator fumes, that it turned out that they slept overnight with the generator on. Unfortunately, the young lady inhaled so much more of the carbon monoxide as compared to the man, that they both passed out and they were both rushed to the hospital. That it was after the young man recovered that he too was arrested. And that is what the police are saying, according to the blogs regarding this case. But what is confusing to me are the extra details. Something is not adding up. We've heard so much about generator fumes. We've talked about cases where people have died from generator fumes. And in all the stories that I remember doing regarding that, I don't remember anyone being in baby diapers. The ones who even survive it, I don't know. How does generator fumes make you go into baby diapers? And then the bruises that the family say they saw around her, how did it get there? A whole lot of things don't add up with this story, especially given how the police has explained it. Maybe there is something there that we don't know. Or maybe the generator fumes is more dangerous and deadly than we thought it was. Because to be fair, in most of the stories we've done, many of the victims usually die. So it's all too confusing. It's all too confusing. But you guys, let me know your thoughts.